Greetings boys and gits, and welcome again to Dread War Gaming. Now in this episode it's a bit like last week. I don't have too much content for you, and the reason being my desk is all over the place. But I do have my update on my Iddick Beer Terrain Square Challenge and a little bit of talk about this, a little bit of waffle about what's been going on. And I visited a modelling convention, so that's all coming up. But first, the news. Hello and welcome to the news. First this week, I want to remind you guys of the Dread Captain competition. When I get to 750 subscribers, there will be 3 prizes announced from 3 separate third-party companies. And when I get to 1,000, there'll be a vote by the subscribers and a special vote for myself, a gold star vote, as you might say, on the best. Then the competition itself is to draw or paint or create an original image of an orc freebooter captain with a dread squig. So he's got to be a dreadlocked freebooter orc captain. You can create your image however you like, just make sure it's in some way original. If you're going to copy an old image, an old artwork, then give it your own twist, alright? And you send those to dreadwargaming@gmail.com, or you can write to me there to get a postal address to send physical things. I mean, you can make a sculpt or whatever you like, I don't really care. It's going to take a little while before we get to 1,000, so you've got a bit of time. Be creative, guys, and get your kids involved. There's a good few people that have already contacted me and said, is it okay if my kids do it? Of course it is. In fact, if we get a few kids involved, I'll make sure there's an extra prize for kiddies too, alright? So let's get rolling, let's get everybody involved, get the community involved and get your kids involved. It's good to get your kids involved in your 40k hobby after all, isn't it? Get them into war. Anyway, moving on. Our other piece of news is the scheduled episode on Grot Tanks, which was for the 18th of this month, which is next week, has been moved to the 2nd of May. And the reason being is that Grot Tanks was my most popular video to date so far. It's doing very well for itself, and I really want to make part 2 just as fucking amazing, really, you know? That's the plan. So in order to do that, I need time. And the reason I don't have time at the moment is coming up just after the news. You'll see why very soon. But that is coming up. I've also been to a convention, which we'll see. And I bought this little Sturm Tiger, which is a little German tank, which I will be converting into a Grot tank. So that's going to be in the Grot Tanks episode when that finally comes. But before that, we're going to have a third-party focus, because the episode that was originally for the 2nd or the 3rd of May has been moved forward to next week, and that was a third-party focus. And this third-party focus will be on Ramshackle Games, which few of you know about. In fact, myself, I didn't know about. Even though I know the main man behind it, for a good while, I didn't know of Ramshackle Games. So make sure you tune in next week to find out all about Ramshackle Games and all the amazing bits that they have for us orc collectors. Oh, and this week we also have a new weather report from my main man, Big Dan. Take it away, Dan.
Thanks, Dread. Today I'm going to talk you through the highs and lows of attending a miniature show or wargaming convention. First off, let's start with a low. Unfortunately, it's going to cost you money to buy a ticket, and then any spontaneous purchases you make on the day. On the plus side, there's lots of lovely miniatures to buy. On the low side, there's lots of standing around and walking when you want to look at exhibits. But on the bright side, there's lots of dioramas to inspire you for your own projects at home. Unfortunately, to attend the convention, you'll have to leave your house and socialise. On a brighter note, you get to meet lots of like-minded folk.
Thanks, Dan. And now let's take a look at the reason why I'm so busy at the moment and why I can't get so much done. It is that I am revamping the Dread desk. Let's have a look. Okay guys, so most of the desk has been pulled apart because of the bad woodworm, and what's left I've heavily treated with woodworm treatment, let that dry in, and then I've painted it with this gloss paint, so that should stop the buggers, I hope. Ignore that horrible lime green. I'm going to get rid of that and go back to an antique white. I've got to paint all my walls white. Look at how bad that it's from the stove. The stove creates so much dust in this place, so it just carries over and all the dust. So I'll actually put doors on that because there's going to be the desk top used to originally be higher than this anyway. I had a top that came up, but I'm going to bring it out even further this time. So I'm going to have doors under there. Stop banging my knee on that middle bit. That's what kept happening all the time before. And yeah, oh look, I painted my leg too. That's when I was putting that tape up there. I leant against that because I'm an absolute wally. So yeah, my place is needing a good bit of DIY skills. And I'm on it, don't worry, it's going to look awesome. So guys, it's now Tuesday, so tomorrow is Wednesday, which is my last day of filming and editing. So I don't know that my desk is going to be done by then. I've got this far, so I've repainted all of the wood around it. I've done the green and the yellow on the wall, obviously. I've still got this cupboard under here to sort out. There's a lot of sort of damp and rotten wood issues to sort out under there. Got to repaint the wall as well. I'm having new curtains made. Well, I've actually got 2 sets already made for me. I've got 1 more set to be made. So I'm going to repaint all my walls before they go up and make my place a little bit more people friendly, because at the moment the hobby has taken over everything. So I'm just going to confine it to this desk. While I was doing that, I sort of like repainted the little area behind this. So I took the curtain down that's usually hanging in front of the news desk area, and I started repainting these walls here. But long way to go yet. Oh, and I also did my bathroom. This is garish green, all right? This is a green that I bought, and then I didn't like it, but I had to use it because I'd already opened the pot. So I was like, so I used it in the bathroom. I've still got to do the ceiling, and yes, I've got tea in the bathroom. Yeah, I've got a big ass shelf up there, loads of storage. See, it's a huge shelf. So I've got loads. I'm a hoarder as far as food is concerned. Well, I'm a bit of a prepper, you know what I mean? I've got a load of camping, outdoor survival gear, all that sort of stuff, you know. That's the sort of stuff I consider important, actually. When I gave up my entire life before and I walked away from my career and my home and my fiance and everything like that, I walked away with a backpack full of outdoor gear, because that's the most important stuff in life. Never not going to be useful. Survival is key. Anyway, enough waffle. Let's move on. A little update. Still no best friend. Still hasn't come and helped me put the desktop on. But I did paint these cupboardy things while I was waiting, and this shelf thing. So they are going to be parts. They're going to be up in the shelving. But yeah, cool. So as some of you are aware, I live in Ireland, and everything here happens very slowly. So when someone says they're going to help you in the morning, they mean the afternoon. So I've been badgering my best mate to come and help me. He is actually really, really helpful. He's fantastic. My best friend here in Ireland is really good at carpentry. And well, all sorts of things actually. But he helped me with, I painted up my bits and bobs, and I painted up this desktop, and I had a right nightmare with it. Actually, at the moment I can't touch it because it's still got some varnish trying to set on it. I had coated it twice and it was beautiful, which took, I painted it in the morning, let it dry for a day. I painted it the next morning, let it dry, and then I put varnish on it, and I got up in the morning and it was all crackled and destroyed, so I had to sand it and start again. But he actually helped me notch out the desk at the back where it's got to go around the bits of wood. The pipe there is ugly and horrible and white at the moment. That's going to disappear. That's going to be nice and silver. I'll show you guys a picture. I'll throw up a picture of some of the other bits you might have recognised from my desk before, a few new bits too, but I've coloured them up. Everything's going to be themed like, you know, red, gold and green. And I'm going to have up the top rack there, so up there we're going to have 5 rows of paint racks, and then there's going to be another shelf here, and so between the 2 shelves there's going to be 2 wooden tray boxes and paint racks and bits organiser, and there's going to be 2 doors on there, one with a glass, or not glass, but perspex see-through window, probably on that side, and then this side will probably be the solid wood door, which I'll probably paint yellow, green or red obviously. And that's going to be like my board for putting up stuff related to the channel, because I want this to be themed and look like it's, you know, a 90s nostalgic trip down memory lane, like a 90s kids TV show kind of thing, but orky and dready. So yeah, it's my own thing. I'm really enjoying making it my own thing, and I really want to have it so that my background fits, you know, that it's still functional as a desk for me, and for doing the hobby, but actually make it more functional. So I'm going to have at the back here on the lower level, I'm going to have a photo booth, so I can take photos of all of the minis that I get sent and all of the minis that I make myself and all the rest. I'll have a nice place to photograph those. And I'm also going to make a spray booth for airbrushing. And yeah, I've got a few bits to work out of it yet. But yeah, I'll throw up that picture anyway, and you can have a little look at the other bits that I did. But that's as far as I've got at the moment. I want to get this done because obviously it's holding me up on all of my modelling projects now, as I'm about to show you. So, the Iddick Beer Terrain Square Challenge 2019. My entry, unfortunately, is not complete. What a shock! What a surprise! Well, such disappointment, aren't I? But look, I got it this far. I've undercoated it at least, right? Which is varying 3 different colours of rust, which actually 4 different colours of rust. That kind of counts as painting it. But yeah, no, it's not up to any kind of standard. So yeah, and there's actually, before I take it any further with paint, I want to do some like baking soda rust, extra texture for the rust, because although I'm going to use weathering pigments and I'm going to use some oils and all sorts of things actually on this, I want to add some more texture, because now that I've sprayed it this rusty colour, I've noticed that some of the things like this, the tank tread protector, shield, guard, whatever you want to call it, and like some of the other bits of armour and bits and bobs that are in there, although I can make them look rusty coloured and have a little bit of texture with the weathering pigments, they need a bit more, especially if they're sat on a junk heap. So I'm going to go for the baking soda technique and pick that out a bit more. But so yeah, I mean, I'm still very happy with this. I had great fun making it. I just need to finish it, which, you know, that challenge has got me started on something which I now feel obliged to, having showed it off on the channel and all of that. I now feel obliged to obviously finish. So that'll be my next thing to do. But I was making this as one of 4 pieces of terrain that make up a scrap heap that encircles a grot tank building yard. So there was one other piece that I was sort of working on alongside this that I got to a more ready-ish state. Not anywhere near ready, but here it is the mech shop part. So I haven't glued that on, obviously, it's just there just so I can see that it goes, where it's going to go. I haven't decided still yet about the table or not. A few people have said maybe lower the table. It'd be a pain now, because I could have done it maybe if I hadn't have glued this down already, but I'd have to cut off this little box at the back here, and the way that if anyone else has got this kit, you'll know that they tape down, the table only fits on one way, so it's with or without really at this stage. So I think I'll leave it off, maybe, yeah, and then I can use that as a detail somewhere else, you know. It's a nicely detailed table, is what it is, and it does look a bit odd for grots, and there would have to be, I'd have to then put a couple of boxes in front of it for them to climb up onto, and then it really will be in the way. So yeah, it wouldn't be a practical place for them to have a table that large, so I'll just leave it off. I haven't glued that at all either, that's still spinning around. But yeah, I've if you guys see, I'll take that bit off so it don't fall. I've done a little bit of crackling on the base of that as well. I haven't added the rest of the scrap to this pile, but I just gave it this bit of spray now, just so, you know, the stuff underneath has got some paint on it, because there are some bits in the other pile that I should have maybe sprayed it at some point halfway through or something like that. Just getting into some of the nooks and crannies is a bit difficult, but I've got an airbrush too, so I can use that too. But for these, the colours that I'm using are actually from a rattle can or a spray can. They are the Montana Gold sprays, like sheer brown and chocolate brown that I'm using. They're very good for rust, and those Montana Gold spray paints, I find they're about a tenner each, where you get like 3 for €25. You get them in most art shops now, and they are way superior, in my opinion, to the GW paints and the Army Painter paints that come in a rattle can. They really are smooth. The only thing is that the spray nozzle on the top of the bottle is replaceable, and it sometimes comes with spares, and you can buy different ones, so you can actually get different spray trajectories and all that sort of thing, and spray patterns and all the rest. So definitely worth looking at for that reason alone. But and the fact that it's cheap. Sometimes a rattle can is preferable over an airbrush. Not most of the time it isn't, but some of the time it is. And those are really good, and the paint coverage is really smooth. Like, although I say the caps, they do clog, I seem to have a problem with them clogging anyway. Maybe it's just the weird weather we have in Ireland when I go out into the barn to spray. But what I find is that they give a really nice, smooth coverage of paint. They really are a really nice paint to work with. Don't get any pooling. I haven't had any pooling since I've been using them. I mean, I'm fairly good at spray paint at this stage, but like, they are good, trust me. I think they're very good paint. You can just tell their quality when you're using them, you know, sometimes you can just tell, and it just definitely is. But it doesn't beat the airbrush. The airbrush is king, but I don't use it for everything, because who wants to clean their airbrush every time for something like scenery and stuff like that? When you want to go, maybe go spray this, colour that colour, mix it up and blah, blah, blah. Like, sometimes airbrush is, you know, is a pain to clean, aren't they? If anyone's got one, you know, if you want to keep it working, you need to keep it very clean. We'll come to all of that in future episodes where we're going to touch on airbrushing and all that sort of stuff. And I'm going to give my opinions on some of those people that give opinions about airbrushing out there, because some people really do lead you up the bloody garden path. Anyway, that's it for the Train Square Challenge. That's it. Sorry, Nick, I didn't get it done. Sorry, followers, I didn't get it done. I do apologise. I had great fun doing it, what I have done, and I'm going to work on it further. So I will be updating you further with it as it goes along, as I will be updating you further with the progress on my desk as it goes along. One of my miniature related, hobby related tasks or experiences or expeditions or whatever you want to call it, I was doing something hobby related this weekend, and it wasn't this desk, alright? That's, oh God, I can't get my words out, right? I went to the Irish Vintage Magazine's Miniature World at Salt Hill Leisureland in Galway. That's where I'm from. Well, it's not where I'm from, it's where I live. I love it. I say I'm from here because I'm an honorary member of the Galway Legion. Yeah, I've been here long enough, see, 7 years now, like, long time. Anyway, I went along to the Miniature World, and it was quite good. There wasn't too much war related stuff, which is kind of what I was hoping for. There was a few bits, but not too much. There was a few people there though that invited me to other things, so now I've made like the connections, I know what's going on. So now I'm going to go to some more really cool conventions, and hopefully there'll be more up our alley. You know, like, this wasn't a bad convention, it just wasn't really, you know, really touching me in any special places, you know what I mean? It was trains and tractors mostly. But I'll show you, I'll give you a little lowdown now, alright? Welcome guys to Miniature World. This is actually bigger than I expected. There's quite a bit to see. Loads of stuff, loads of products everywhere. It's awesome. So yeah, I'm going to go around, I'm going to take some little shots of all the best bits, let you know. is a long haul of trucks, as my friend just said. It's a long haul, get it? The haul is long. So far it's mostly a lot of farming stuff and a lot of truck stuff. There's not so much in the way of war stuff. Right guys, this is a local men's shed, right? They're a local hobby association. They're also, that one says Avon Rye, but they're in Galway as well, which is my local town. So I picked up one of these here flyers, and what's this all about? Let's have a little look.
For a quick cigarette, I'll be back in 5 minutes.
He's going out for a quick cigarette here, see us in 5 minutes. Alright, yeah, I might sign up for that, innit? Let's go for it.